we're recording. I'm so happy Jexic started streaming. The more streamers, the better. The more streamers, the better. Especially now that Ben's not streaming every day. Yeah, let's watch it together. Shankai. So you are playing your favorite. It's your favorite faction, right? The Fae. And you're against Tree, which seems like I think you said it's probably a hard matchup for the Fae to deal with. Okay, yeah, no, I'm happy to tell you my thoughts afterwards. Am I a little bit too loud now? Let me put it down a little bit. Okay, I think it should be good. Okay, cool. So let's see. They go first, which is unfortunate for you. Fae and Avians, that's cool. Those are two great factions. I wish Fae got a little more love, but Avians I think are perfectly balanced. All right. I guess they're trying to get away from the gay spot. You're playing against Lacania, great player. They used to do a series. I'm not sure why they stopped on. They basically used to go through games they lost and we're trying to figure out why they lost. And I thought it was such a cool idea. Cool, we get the high tide. Okay. Trying to get the guard down. Makes sense. Ooh, whiff. But you should be able to get a third attack with the... Oh, that's unfortunate. Now you try to get the 3 out of the 3 with the scout. Ah, and you get it. Nice. A little bit risky, but it works out for you. Quick Aldrich. Interesting. Aldrich, I guess you have a lot of squishy commons, so it kind of makes sense in this matchup. I could see what Lacania was trying to do. This is an interesting 3 seed bears. I think I'd be a little bit more aggressive with Odric here. I probably would put Odric attacking this one. Just because it's very unlikely unless Namira is on that side of the board for Odric to get hit. But I can understand what they're doing. They're just trying to get a bunch of boost on Odric while keeping it safe. Yeah, I agree. It's very scary early on. Let me reduce my volume a little bit also. I think it's a little too high. Okay. Makes sense. Nice gate position for you, but yeah, everything's gonna get hit here. This poor tidebreaker. I'm not sure if you're gonna attack with it or not. Oh, your range dice have been terrible this game. Did you summon the scout there just to block the gate position? Or what was the idea behind that? Just so that they can't occupy this gate position? I don't think I would have put the scout there just to occupy the gate. I think scouts are just so good. So good. At least you have a champion now, so you can use Spearhead nicely. And Rebuke. Ooh, nice Rebuke. That's a sick Rebuke. 0 cost Rebukes are also amazing. And then you get in front of Nivid, which is amazing. That's really cool. Lyra is also probably really good in this position. Odric is so good. But you're doing an amazing job just getting up in there. And I guess it was worth it in the end to keep this gate position open. Starting to hit the tree. Hit the tree. Yeah, it's just unfortunate to use a scout. But yeah, I can see the idea there. Like ideally use an oracle. But yeah, oracles are tricky. This is looking dangerous for you. I'm curious how you get out of this. Alright, get the scout. I can use the 2 free damage, nice. Interesting. Okay, I can see it. I guess you kind of do need a gate there. Well, the gate can die to uprooted, right? So there's a chance you die this turn. But just a little bit unlikely. They'd have to hit a 4 out of 4. But yeah, a little bit risky, but let's see if it works out. Nimbid's at 10 though, so they don't kill you this turn. They go for the kill shot, then you win afterwards. Do they have uproot? I guess that's the card which they would need. Okay, they don't. Yeah, because if they had uproot, they could kill Lyra and then get a ranged attack on you and then a Nimbid attack. I'm pretty sure it can be uprooted. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Maybe I'm just completely full of shit. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, nice rebuke. Okay. Let me watch this game and then we'll look into whether you can do uproot. Nice. Get the heal on yourself. A little bit. What's up, Shoots? How you doing? I'm excited for your game tomorrow. Yeah, this Odric is doing so much work in this matchup. Oh, and you have the spearhead for the win? Oh, barely missed. That's tragic. But now Nimbid at 1, unless they can kill you this turn. It seems like they're banking on the 5-on-5. Or sorry, the 3-on-3. So as long as this misses, you should win. So here you have to make sure you don't kill yourself by attacking Nimbid. When oh, never mind, Odric has a 0 boost on it. I thought Odric had a boost on it for a second. Yeah. Okay, cool to know. Yeah, that's why I thought that gates could be uprooted. I thought it was just champions are the only thing which can't be, or sorry, not champions. I thought just summoners were the only thing which can't be uprooted. Nice. Nice. Nice game. Yeah, there's a. I think so. Let's see. I think the things which I would have changed, even though I do think you did a lot right, are. Let's go back to. So I like the gate here. Like we were talking about the scout. I think the scout works in the end. But because I was the only unit in your hand, and you wanted to keep that gate spot open. But like you said, for tempo, actually you're probably right. For tempo reasons, you're trying to win early in this matchup. Probably, if it goes late, you probably just lose as Nimbid, or sorry, as the Fae. So in this position, I think this is all good. This is all fine. I really like how you use Rebuke in this matchup just to get rid of the saplings, get rid of the blockers. Like, Rebuke is the best worst card, mattering what you're getting rid of it. Arguably the worst card in the game or the best card in the game. So I guess I've never played this matchup, but I would assume that you're on the clock. So I'm not gonna give any advice from the viewpoint of a Fey expert, just from just general Summoner Wars. So I think this is all good here. Uh, you get the attack in. You get the spearhead attack in, and you're able to potentially keep Lyra a spearhead for 2 turns. Odric's just such a beast in this matchup. Um, so yeah, I think here you have 2 options. You can either try to go all in on Odric, or you can try to go all in on Nimid. And you decide to go the Nimid route, which I think is fine. Um, yeah, 0 cost rebuke is amazing. So I think here, now you get down to 5. Uh, and the question is, what do you do as Fae? And I agree with your thought process that here it looks like you're very far behind, and probably Lacania thinks the same thing. So the idea here for you to um, get this gate position, I think, is a good idea. I think the problem, and probably what I would have most likely done, would have been to uh, had it probably would have been to. So where was the Tidebringer before this? That's the question I have. It's kind of buggy. Game, don't go so slow. Oh no, it crashed. Okay. So here's the start of your turn. Well, what's the turn before? Okay. This is all good stuff. You get the rebuke off. This turn, I think. No. The turn before this, turn 8. Okay. So this is currently your turn. And your idea here is to basically protect Nymera, at the same time get some damage on Nimid, and potentially kill the sapling. So, like we were saying, the play which you currently did was a little bit risky just because if they did have uproot, they could uproot the gate and then get 2 attacks on Nymera. Thankfully, they did not. So maybe even before this, maybe turn 6, maybe the goal should have been to attack Nimid, but not necessarily with Nymera, but with like a Tidebreaker or something more expandable, so Nymera doesn't get down to 5. Because it kind of puts you in this awkward position where you're just hoping for them not to have the right cards to win. I'm trying to think if this turn you could have done anything different. Maybe because you're on the 4th row, so you can't do anything there. So I guess, sorry, this is the turn afterwards. You're already at 4 here. Are you already at 5? Let's think. Probably what I would have done, maybe do same exact play, but have a double blocker here. So maybe keep Lyra there, put a swarm here, but then you still kind of die to uproot. Huh. This is just tricky. Oh, I see. You didn't know how uproots works on gates. No, I'm not trying to. No shade, Shiding Kai. I'm just trying to think what I would do in this position, and at what point. How could you have played this to still win, but be a little bit safer? I guess. And to be honest, like with Audric out so early, like you said, Audric was out on turn 3, so it already looks super doomed for you. So you kind of do have to go for some risks, which you do very nicely. Yeah, I think the 2 things which I would have changed is either turn 6, gone for a different attacker on Nimid, or turn 9, or sorry, turn 8. Turn 8. Yeah, I guess this is what I would have done. Uh, I think Odric has to get out of there, and I would have spent, I guess, more resources just trying to get rid of Odric. So I think what you could have done here is still Rebuke. I think that's a great play. Uh, maybe because you can rush, right? I have to look back at this beginning of this turn. How would I have done this turn differently? Because I think up to this point it's all good. So yeah, maybe I would have done Tidebreaker this side, Nymeria same side, and then try to go for 7 for 6, but that's not good either, to be honest. Hey. I guess you can Tidebreaker Lyra on the same side, but then that leaves Nymeria with 2 attacks on the side. Not sure. Not sure. It's tricky, definitely, and it definitely seems like a hard matchup for Faye. Yeah, I agree, Shiden. Um, yeah, just hard, especially with turn 2 Odric, but you're able to pull through and win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But yeah, very fun game. Very cool to see Odric, and very cool to see how you played around that. I really like this. Like if Nymeria was at higher hit points, I think this is a very cool gate position uh, for the Fae. Well played. All right, let's go to the finals. Yeah, 7 boost at turn. I think there was 7 boost at turn 3 or something, or turn yeah. At turn 4, yeah, 6 boost on Odric. Yeah, I think it goes to 7 at some point. Let's see. Yeah, 7 at the end of turn 6 because they use so many seed bearers. That just sounds miserable for Fae to deal with because all your commons are 3 health or less. And even your champions are very squishy at 4 health. Just miserable. Oh, thanks also Shoots for the questions. I'll make a Google Doc also. I need to make 2 Google Docs this weekend. One for people to submit replays, and the other one for people to ask questions, or if they have any questions to give Vexer and Davood. But yeah, thanks so much for the replay, Shine Kai. I'm happy to, if you have any others, I'm happy to go and look at them. But so far, you've given me 2 amazing replays to watch. Very memorable. I really like, yeah, watching Faye is always very fun. And you are, yeah, great player. All right. So this is now the tournament finals. I'm going to be doing it in a little bit different order. I'll first start with this game because I only watched, I think, the first turn of this. I had to go back to work. No worries, Shining Guy. Anytime. It's very fun. I think that's my favorite part about Summoner Wars. In a certain way, I could stop playing and just analyze replays, and I'd be still happy. Unless a new faction comes out. And also, that's not true. I like playing it also. But I definitely like watching. I'm more open to watching than I am playing. Like I could watch a game every day. I don't think I could play a game every day. Anyways, so this is the grand finals between Davood and Vexer. I haven't seen this one, but it'll be interesting. Shadow Elves versus Fallen Kingdoms, and this is of course Fallen Kingdoms with the buff to Ratalis, where I think Ratalis has 1 extra health or 2 extra health. I think it's 1. Yeah, 12 sounds about right. And also Gul'das is really strong. They actually seem with the buffs to be relatively good at econ, so it will be interesting to see how Davood plays this. And yeah, it seems like from the sidebar, it seems like a very long game, so I'm assuming it goes very econ-y. But I'm curious if any of them try to go for any plays which whiff. Yeah, I think Fae, the nature of Fae, just because they're a little bit underpowered of a deck, you do kind of need luck. And also, to be honest with that's why in a certain way aggro factions are harder to play than or not. That's not true. That's why some people say aggro factions are harder to play than control factions, just because you can make less mistakes, and also mistakes sometimes do count as maybe not mistakes you make, but the dice put you towards, right? Um, and you were not rolling well for the first couple of turns that game, so you were ending up in a very a spot which required a little bit of luck. Let's say it that way. Uh, all right, so Vexer starts out, which can be good for Fallen Kingdoms because, especially if you have a carrier in hand, which they do, it allows for you to infect easily. Um, so I think Fallen Kingdoms, especially if you have the right starting hand, doesn't really care too much about losing their starting 2 units versus some other, uh, like for Vanguards or for, um, yeah, for a few factions, losing your starting units is very painful. Interesting gate position. This is kind of a gate positioning saying that they think. Well, I mean, this is twofold. This is kind of like I'm prepared if you push up. At the same time, this allows for 2 different summoning spots on the third row. All right, they get the infect and attack on the seeker. Very standard stuff. Curious if they keep any of these 2 champions. Yeah, I completely agree, Shinkai. I think skill, how good of a player you are, usually matters the most in terms of match winning. But I think especially as you play harder and harder opponents for tournaments, dice rolls become more and more impactful. They're usually the better player wins, but not always. Hmm. So the hard part against playing good Fallen Kingdoms players is just you need to get rid of the carriers, and something which has helped me a lot, or the way I think about it, is that if you want to get rid of carriers, you need to make sure you try to kill all of them, or at least make it so that the carriers which are still alive aren't able to reach your units afterwards. And Shadow Elves does a great job with this, with Seekers having 3 health and also being able to fent backwards. All right. Vexer's doing a good job also keeping his low health units away from gates, in which carriers could spawn and then also cause infect chains. All right, we're getting the double cultist purge. Yeah. This knight is dead. Very cool. And also trying to get this gate spot. I'm curious if Davood tries to go kill the shadow health, the 10 health gate. It'd be a little bit. Okay, they don't go for it. They could do a Hellforge weapon double attack on gate. Hope the archer dies. Either gets a 5-on-5 or dies, and then the other archer can get replace it and get another attack on the gate. That might be a lot of commitment, sacrificing 2 archers and a Hellforge for a gate, which which Vexer can get back if they have the right cards. But there is also an argument using tomes on retrieving a 10 health gate rather than using it later on to get a crucial unit. Yeah, they darkness the gate. I guess that was the fear. If you whiff on the gate, then Vexer just gets it back next turn. All right. As you can see, again, Vexer's doing an amazing job of, if Davood had any carriers, making sure that they would have to either they'd basically have to use a Hellforge to be able to kill any of these units. Just because of how spread out, you can't get really a double attack here. Potentially you could with a carrier and an archer here, but that's also, yeah, this archer then just dies afterwards. Ooh, some whiffs. Some whiffs. Here's the Tome and Glinting Speed. Okay, interesting. Are you trying to go for a hit on Ratalis? Interestingly enough, and this is something people are pointing out, Davood in their starting hand had Blood Summon, or double Blood Summon. Interesting. Did they already throw? So what turn are we on? Just so I don't forget. Did they already get rid of their Blood Summon turn? Yeah, they did. That's all right. Wait. So that's them. So Davood did. So at turn 3 they have it. Turn 4 they have it. Oh, sorry, I'm not looking at the right thing. I was wondering why it looks so weird. So turn 2 they have it. Do they discard it? Interesting. So they literally discard Blood Summon. That's nuts to me. But I guess if you're going full econ, trying to summon all the units you can. I've never seen a player discard Blood Summon. So, an interesting Donkey, I never actually met him or never played against him because he stopped playing before I did, but I watched he has a nice YouTube series about like different tips and tricks. I think it was like 2 or 3 years old at this point for Summoner Wars 2. And he has a great point where, Summoner Wars is a game where your opponents do not know which cards you're discarding. So sometimes discarding a card and never using it, but having one card left in your hand makes your opponent so afraid that it's the one card, it's a Blood Summon or something like that, even though, 10 turns ago you discarded it for Magic. So your opponent still has to play against it, just thinking that you have it. But I guess that's a question for, and I think Shoots, you had, was it you or someone else? I think, multiple people have talked about, because we've seen Davood's hand. I don't think Vexer's hand was ever shown during the live stream. Davood seems to discard like things like Varn and other cards very easily to get a nice Magic stockpile at the beginning. That's something Ben 10 would always do, though I think Ben 10 would sometimes do it way too much, where he would have, like 7 Magic on cloaks after, like, with no Admiral or no champions left. But it seems like Davood definitely values tempo. But I've never seen before a Blood Summon. I guess the other thing here is that they're super afraid of having their one common way you can just lose instantly, especially against good players as Fallen Kingdoms, is having your hand clogged with events. So if they had, they played one gate and they played a carrier this turn, if they had drawn 2 more events, then their entire hand would have been it could have been bad, let's say it that way. And you can't really lose tempo against Dark Elves. Yeah, Ben never held cards. But it's super interesting to see this. I've never seen Blood Summons. All right, sorry. Just curious. Okay, so turn 5, he draws another Blood Summon. And then by turn... Okay, so this is the turn we saw. And then do they discard Blood Summon again? Yeah, that's nuts to me. So they literally discard both their Blood Summons. Purely going for tempo. So let's see. They literally discard a card even though they're already at 8 Magic. Davood's a madman. That's nuts to me. Yeah, they're literally at 8 Magic and they still are discarding. Maybe they really want to get to Ratalis. That could be another, like they're really going through the deck for Ratalis, which is really good in this matchup. Or sorry, not Ratalis, Gul'das. They're really searching their deck for, but I'll definitely be asking Davood what was the idea behind this very discard heavy strategy. All right. So again, Vexer's doing a really good job. So you could technically infect this mage if you had a carrier and an archer, but then you're literally sacrificing an archer and not even getting a gate spot. It'd be a lot of resources just to kill this mage and get a carrier. And look, Vexer needs to play Selendar all the way back here because they have no clue that Davood already discarded both their blood summons. Crazy. I mean, it's great for mind games because like once you cast both blood summons, then Selendar can play really far forward a lot of times. Because the range, a lot of times after events, the range on Fallen Kingdoms is not that far. Really cool. All right, so this is where we stopped. Glinting speed. Potentially, it could be going for some kill the carrier, get Ray Talus. Is that what they're going for? Interesting. The thing is, I don't think they have enough boost for this currently, because they can get to max what? 3 boosts, 4 boosts. But with the danger of blood summon, oh, they whiff it. Yeah, I think you probably unsummon the Seeker. Just play a little bit conservative here. Yeah, you don't want that to get infected, especially if this forward gate spot gets infected. It's not the best. Huh. I could see discarding 1 blood summon, but both. That's nuts to me, especially when you already have 8 magic. But look, Davood's better than me. He knows. He knows the ways. All right, you put the Seeker in front of the other Seeker. Yeah, yeah. Basically, doing an amazing job just preventing courier chains. How many more? So 2 more, which he can possibly have. I think he's played all the other ones. All right, Gul'das comes out. Yeah, this is a cool tech you can do. Attack your own unit, and then potentially get an infect here. Ideally, I think they were trying to get 2 health off, but it works out. It works out. Gul'das is so crazy at 10 health. I don't know. The thing is, like, at 8 health, it feels underwhelming, or like maybe just no one ever plays it, and it's secretly broken. Um, but at 10 health, it's nutty how good this unit is. Okay, that's cool. By Vexer attacking his own unit, which is outside of carrier range instead of the gate. You want to keep, especially late game, you do want to keep your gates at high health so that you can. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, I just noticed that. So ideally, this Seeker would have been returned with, but the Seeker missed its attack on the other Seeker, so it wasn't able to get the boost to get rid of it and not get infected. So at this point, it looks kind of very dangerous. Like this is Davood's dream scenario. Like this board looks so nice for Fallen Kingdoms, and you're at equal cards with the Shadow Elves player. Hmm. All right. Interesting. Okay, yeah, yeah. I was wondering uh, why they were attacking there, but it makes sense if you have a Shadow Pulse. Uh, yeah, again, this is hard to infect because usually you're going to heal with this 8 dice Gul'das, so the Seeker's definitely dead. Ooh, that whiff. That's a crazy whiff. Vexer's probably super happy after that. I'll look at the dice stats afterwards to see if there was any type of luck discrepancy between the 2 factions. But yeah, Davood really likes to summon all his warriors, which kind of makes sense. Warrior by themselves are just really good units. 4/2s, which get more health. Um, he really makes it a priority uh, to not really. He's not a very discard heavy Fallen Kingdoms player. Gets the 4/4. That's big. All right, it's big, especially if the Seeker can destroy the carrier and not reinfect the warrior. Oh, whiffs. I guess the other idea Davood is probably thinking is that Vexer is probably too good of a player to fall into Blood Summon shenanigans, especially when they're, you know, look, it's a tournament finals. I'm sure that both these players are going through every single situation in their head. All right. Sadly whiffs, but they hit on the mage. I forgot why this knight's here. Oh, maybe it was just to clear the hand. All right, uses both into the darknesses. Now you just have this horde in front of you. Cultist here is not the best because Cultist is gonna boost for Sullendar, so it basically just pays for itself. Cultist. Yeah, Sullendar gets the free boost here. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, the Pyre turn. A little bit sad for Davood that Pyre was in his last couple of cards. I'm sure they would have liked to cast it earlier, because this turn you're basically getting one kill, and then whatever Vexer's killing, I'm sure Vexer's gonna at most kill 2 units this turn. Oh, the whiff on the Cultist also, so 1 less boost. Actually, no, never mind. Similar amount. I did not see. Makes sense. Prioritizing. Well, I guess 2 less damage on the knight, potentially. Do you attack with a knight? I'm assuming not. You don't want the double attack on the knight from a resummon carrier. Yeah, it makes complete sense by Vexer. Very, very solid play. The idea being if this carrier goes down to 1, it's going to attack, and then another carrier will kill it, and then it'll have basically 4 dice on this knight, which potentially infects it. So you don't want that happening. Sorry, let me pause after this turn, and I can answer your question, Shankai. Okay, let me pause. All right, sorry. In regards to Fey buffs, what do you think about giving Nymeria the ability to summon adjacent to her? That way she doesn't have to pray for gates all the time, and she can protect herself with the scout's ability. It might be too strong, though, but I thought I would ask you, what do you think? I would argue just off the top of my head that it's probably a little bit too strong, but I am very for giving them additional gates or making some of their units gates, or just buffing Mystic. Right, Mystic is so bad. What's not Mystic? Seer. What's the one which basically you is a 2/2 for 0? I think the problem about giving Nymeria the tree ability basically is let me actually think. So during summoning phase, so it'd be like only a summoning phase specific ability. Would that be busted? It'd be kind of cool the combos you could do with that. Would it be busted though? Let me think. You know, the cool thing about that is it would make also their 5 cost champion, I forgot the guy's name, more useful. Because you could do some like cool attack, push attack ability with like a summon. Maybe. You might be right, Shining Cat. That's initially it sounded very busted to me, but maybe it's actually balanced and it would just make them a very strong faction, but not busted. Definitely something which I would love to test out. But very cool idea. I like it. I guess the only thing which would go against it just thematically is that we already have 2 other champions which can summon around them. So maybe make it so that she can only summon like 1 cost or less around her. Maybe that's the way of doing it. Not sure. But it does sound like a very cool change. Yeah, you can summon adjacent to her with Scout. Yeah, that'd be very cool. I think just in general, it's a weird deck in terms of like the idea is that you always have a champion. So the problem is that like there's a chance that like all three of your champions, or the two champions which are playable, the two costs are on the bottom half of your deck, and then like a lot of the interactions you have just do not work for a majority of the game, which is fine if you're a more less aggressive deck, but Fae, which are a very aggro deck, they need their cards quickly. Yeah, you're right. Namira is in range, so it's not too bad. Agreed. You could do some really cool things with it. I agree. It's definitely something they should look into. Would be a cool change for playtesters to play around with. Um, all right, so going back to this game, so someone is a seeker trying to get rid of this undead horde over here. I guess some good news for Vexer is that Ratalis is only at 6 health. Though there's a little bit less assassination attempt because they know, and probably Ratalis would not be here by Davood if they didn't know that both Into the Shadows, or both Darknesses, sorry, are in the graveyard, or the discard pile. Are trying to get a double attack on these, ideally 3 out of 3, and then are able to get another attack with the knight. They get the 3 out of 3. Okay, they're gonna remove the seeker, I'm assuming. Ooh, the whiff. That's a big whiff, because then this knight gets infected most likely. All right, to the last pyre. Yeah, that's a good point. I think yeah, they do seem to like make similar changes because probably it's just easier for reprints. But I do think Oracle is just so like might be the worst unit in the game by far. Like I'm not even sure if it's close. Like worst common by far might be Oracle. I can't think of a worse common. Curious if there's like some cool interactions with Oracle and deck building, but oh, I need to ask Shoots if you're still there. You need to give me a good deck, or tell me someone who's giving out good decks for the deck building tournament. I think that might be fun. Just come up with some crazy deck, or maybe I'll try to make my own deck. So just some like very unoptimized, terrible deck gets me out first round, but might be still fun to play. Uh, all right, so this is not the most comfortable. I wish we could see both players' hands, because I'm not sure how Vexer's feeling in this situation. Are they feeling fine, or are they feeling like, oh shit? I guess they're feeling okay because what they're probably fearing right now is some type of Blood Summon Warriors, the last two cards, but at least it's not Blood Summon Double Warrior or anything. Some whiffs. These whiffs are painful, especially because they just got reinfected. Um, and their gates are going down. Huh. Do they get the infect? Is this a whiff? No, it's a hit. Interesting. The good thing is you cannot infect summoners because they would be dead. Yeah, Shoots. I think I could ask them. True, or maybe I just come up with some random deck, some troll deck, like useless deck, but does something very troll. Yeah, same Shoots. I think it'll just be fun, a fun time. You can you can use Prophet's most annoying deck of all time, which you won the finals with. That seems I would never want to play against that deck. What was it? It was Peace plus. It was like the Breakers. What's that unit called? The thing which you get less damage for specials, and then plus peace. That just sound like the most like miserable experience to play against. Hey Takulu, how you doing? This has been a sick game, by the way. That's a cool play. All right, so why did Vexer kill his own unit there? Let's see. Let's see if I can figure out the logic here. Were they just trying to go? It's like if it dies, it dies. Otherwise, I get a boost. It could be that Davood discarded a carrier, and they're afraid of. They saw that most likely Davood has still one more carrier, potentially in their hand, and they're afraid of this thing getting infected. That's the only reason which I can think of. Otherwise, if you whiff, you potentially get a boost. Yeah. Hey. They have to play back on the PGH Twitch channel. Were they trying to infect their archer, I'm guessing? All right. So they kill their gates. I'm assuming Vexer's last card is either a knight. Okay, let's see. I guess Davood's problem is that they just will never have enough mana to summon both these warriors. But I guess they can always threaten. And at this point, Vexer is like thinking that's definitely not a warrior here. Or even if it is, if they whiff, then Vexer wins the next turn with one card left. A blood summon warrior, sorry. Yeah, no, definitely. Some crucial whiffs. This is crazy, though, in terms of how... I think in general, Fallen Kingdoms is underrated as an econ faction. Like, I know Donkey would do it a lot. Very econ. But especially with tournament buffs. Like, Fallen Kingdoms can definitely do the econ game. And at this point, this game's over. Selendar is way too high health. Can never summon this warrior again. But well played by Vexer. They were in some scary situations. Also by Davood. Like this game, with maybe some different roles, could have ended up differently. But there's some like turns where I was like, there's no, like I would be so scared as as Shadow Elves. Very well played. Look, it came down to the last 3 cards. It's still nuts to me that Davood literally discarded both his the Hail Mary, just hope that Vexer gets some ridiculous whiffs. It's still nuts to me that Davood discarded both his blood summons in the first couple turns. If it works. Yeah. I'm excited to see it shoots. Yeah, I need to do some brainstorming. I think I'm going to make my own deck. I think that's more fun than copying someone else's deck. And then just me repeatedly losing. Oh, yeah, you slap literally everything. That boost Balzahar. Yeah, that sounds like fun and just a boost. Just get Balzahar to 7 range dice as well as double Molten Blast range. All right, that was a sick game. All right, let's go to the Sky Spear Avians game, and then we can end with the Cloaks versus Mounting Vargath. But great game by both players. That was nuts. I wish, again, finals like this, and like any sort of like game, I wish we could see both players' hands, because all these games are from Davood's point of view. Oh, before we do that, let's look at the dice stats. I forgot to look at that. Let's see if there was... for a game that long, I'm assuming there's very little dice stats. That's what dice stats don't really take into account, like, crucial whiffs, like, whiffs which, like, so not all dice rolled or not all damage is worth the same, right? Like if you have a Gul'das, at 3 health and you whiff that, that means you get another, 11 damage to your face. Okay, let me do, where is this replay? The one we just watched. So this is the Fallen Kingdoms and Shadow Elves. I'm a little bit annoyed with Plat Hat for the second tournament in a row, not playing the games in the order which gives the most excitement. They should have done the Davood win, then the Vexer win, and then the tiebreaker, all stakes on the line. You can really hype it up. Like, they don't even need to watch it. They can just give it to someone else or just ask the tournament players to tell them what order to watch it. I know I've done that multiple times for various tournament finals. Just ask the players, hey, what order should we watch these games? What's the most exciting order for the audience? Yeah. Okay, let's check this out. Inspect. All right. Davood was whiffing dice stats wise. Let's see. So they just missed a bunch of range dice. It looks like melee dice were also a little bit low, but range dice especially. I did notice a lot of carriers missing. But yeah, and then for Vexer, sometimes also skewed by how many melee versus range dice you rolled, but it seems like they both had similar swords, and then bows. Davood was a little behind, but they also didn't roll as many as Vexer did. Huh. Still a very fun game. A little bit low, but yeah, I'm not sure. Look, Vexer at the end had a shadow made. They still had 3 units and a card in hand, and Solendar was at 7 health, so it probably would have been closer. But I'm not sure if Davood had hit everything, if that would have made Vexer not win. It would probably have been closer, but I'm not sure it would have been like completely close. Just very well played by both players. Okay. So let's go then to, and we'll look at the dice stats afterwards for this game also. I know Vexer has some big whiffs here in this game. This one I watched, but it'll be good to rewatch when I'm trying to analyze more. So, again, we only have access to Davood's hand. Davood starts out with 2 champions. Wrath is probably an auto discard, and I think they do that just because Wrath is very situationally amazing, but this early in the game, not the best. Okay, so what does Vexer do turn 1? Tries to get Tentacle in there. Tries to keep the Malignant Cultist safe so they can use it for something else. Yeah. Basically, the only way you could get this Malignant Cultist is with the Sky Assault. And yeah, I think Davood discards a lot of cards just because he knows that Vexer is too good to get cheesed by, or not really cheesed, but to get a good Sky Assault value. So discards the first Sky Assault. Something I probably would not do, but I think Davood was aiming for the longer game with Cyruk. Okay, Volatile Flesh. Volatiling Flesh early is a cool idea. The idea here is basically, even though the Spew Mutant doesn't get any value off it, it's cool just to get that into your discard pile so Demigod can get it back. So it's more like a tempo mutagist. Sorry, let me read what you said, Takulu. This game is such a good lesson on managing where the battle happens. A lot of these moves refuse to let the enemy attack easy from half of their field. Yeah, no, that's a great point. Both Vexer and Davood do a great job of making it so that their important units can only be attacked from one, can only get most one attack on them. And especially with birds, Davood does a good job of getting one attack, and then especially if they have flight, it's very easy to get them out of the way so that your opponent can't get magic from them. And look again, Vexer discarding heavily. This is something both players seem to be very good at. Is just discarding super heavily. Like look at the first turn, they're both discarding 3 cards. Like they both understand that tempo is super important against good players. I'm also super curious what Vexer is discarding as mutants. Is he discarding any cultists, or did he just have 3 mutants? Sorry, 3 mutants in his hands. Let me. I need gotta ban this guy. Yeah, no, great point, Takulu. They rather take an activity than poke. It's a very cool game. All right, gets Cyruk out. Is able to. Do they 4? So what happened to? They just got the 3 for 4, or the 4 dice with Zyruk. I wish these replays were slightly better. So yeah, they did get the. So spew happens. They get the Zyruk. I know that's something OL keeps track of, and something I need to be better at is keeping track of how many cards your opponent is discarding. But yeah, gets the hit with Zyruk. Then Vexer takes the inactivity damage. The interesting thing is that they take the inactivity damage, but they don't discard any cards. So this is purely inactivity damage to get Davood to get his units in a more optimal place to attack. But then Davood is able to sort of counter that with a Gathering Song. So Vexer does not get any place to move his units to. Do they discard any cards, or are they happy with their hand? Still the same amount of cards. That's nuts. Very cool to see. Like you were saying, Takulu just very much playing passive. Does Davood keep the same hand? It's a nice hand. They keep the Sky Salt there. Oh, interesting. They get rid of the song. All right. So basically, the turn after this. Interesting that Vexer. So the interesting thing to me is that instead of just keeping the tentacle mutant and using that, they summon a furted cultist. I guess to just open up a card in their hand. But I think when I was watching this initially, and maybe I'll rethink it now, I think the only thing which I would have done differently compared to Vexer is, I'm not sure, it's either this cultist or a different one. Just ends up in the back here and not really doing much until the end of the game, where it pushes up and I think dies. So that's only one thing which I would have maybe done differently. But I guess they just want to clear up their hand to have other units. Horror here is nice, though not as good against the avians, just because you can summon and bring a unit to attack with range. So the its effect, Demonic Visage, is not as good against such a mobile range faction. Also interesting seeing Zyruk all the way back here, just safe, so that they can get no chip damage, but still in range to have flight. Does Zyruk need to be in range of Ava to get flight, or does another unit need it? I don't know. Yeah, I agree, Takulu. I know Someone else in chat had a little bit of problems with this gate. But to be fair, I'm not sure if Vexer expected Davood to play this passive. Like most bird players, they just go in. Shankai, yeah, taking activity damage is something I need to work on also. Like, when do you do it? Because I've seen also a lot of players do it, and it doesn't seem that useful outside of, um, like, I can understand if you just have a bad hand and need to discard, um, or in situations like this where it's very positional, but sometimes people do it, and it just seems, it's a hard thing to know when to do, let's say it that way. Definitely as a skill, definitely is a thing better players are better at doing it. Is this one of the whiffs? I forget. No. They don't whiff this one. Able to get beast out. Able to get 2 attacks on the same unit, especially with high health units like Ava has. Always useful. Davood's also. I noticed that they also use a lot of sages. Like sages are usually like one of my most discarded commons when I play avians. So cool to see. Uses Sky Assault to get good trades off on Beast. Yeah, agreed. Against Fallen Kingdoms, if they don't discard, you have to be super. You assume it's like a blood summon crazy turn. Yeah, good point. That's definitely a skill I can get better at. I think one thing which definitely helps for newer players is always looking at your opponent's magic before planning out your turn, because sometimes you can get away with a lot of stuff. I mean, the easiest one is cloaks, right? So if cloaks have 4 magic and they haven't played dagger, you need to play completely different than if they don't. Um, I'm curious. I'm not sure if Vexer does this. Maybe he's just getting too much value, but maybe he should have killed this gate here himself at some point. Because you're sort of limiting Demigog to be in this area, and you hate having to. Right now, it's fine outside of bursting, but basically, yeah, this is also the unit that Davood's going to target. Is try to um, get rid of this bursting before it's in Demigog's harvest range. They hit the 3, nice. Yeah, it's a little bit sad we can't see Vexer's hands. I would love to see what he discarded. But yeah, keeping track of hands, discards, and magic, I think, are all important parts of becoming a better player in Summoner Wars. Though, that said, sometimes it's like I'm saying all this stuff, and this is all stuff if you want, play at a high level, win tournaments. But like, if you just want to have fun, you don't need to do any of that stuff. Sometimes, I'm just tired, and I'm gonna go for the 50-50, right? I'm not tracking any hands. I'm just, I've had a beer. I just want to, come home and just, play some cave goblins and go unga bunga, right? Or OD. This is a nuts turn, by the way. All right, let's go back to that turn. That's a nuts turn by Davood. Let's see this turn. So why would you do this? Like, would I ever do this turn, which Davood just did? All right, let's see. Where are we? Okay, so Vexer just went. He gets he whiffs this one, yeah. And then he gets a 2 out of 2 here. No, he whiffs that one also. Tragic. And then he gets Sin of the Hopeful. Okay. So let's think. I'm going to stop the turn there. He just took back bursting, but he probably used that as... Okay. So that makes sense. You got the Sage out there. I have nothing against that move. Don't you just get, like... I guess in Davood's head, you're probably, unless you do a lot of resources, not killing any of these cultists, and any damage you get on these cultists is just going to end up with these cultists being mutated into something else, is the idea. And most likely with Ava at 9, you're not too afraid. And already one mutagenesis or whatever the card's called has already been used, so you're not afraid of a double mutagenesis flying turn killing you. So your kill threshold is really 6 with Ava. So Ava's going to go to 8. That's just such a high level play. Like I would not think about this. I would just leave my sage there to do 1 damage so Ava keeps. But I guess it's not worth it, right? Uh, it's not worth giving Vexer free value. Um, yeah, just incredible plays by Davood. Uh, Another important note here, which might not be obvious, is that Davood is doing a great job keeping all his avians within 2 squares, so they all have flight, just giving him more opportunities per turn. Oh yeah, dagger. You forget that dagger costs 4. Yeah. Dagger might be the. I think dagger is up there for candidates for the best champion in the game. It is such a good champion, especially in cloaks. I mean, to be honest, if you don't want to, if Plat Hat don't want to nerf Machinist, a great nerf would be to make dagger cost 5. Keep all the stats the same, just make dagger cost 5. Though that might cloaks usually are not a faction I think of when they have mana issues, but it always hurts. Every mana matters, or every magic matters. Yeah, what a crazy play. But I mean, it's the right play. I'm not trying to. This one's an interesting play in terms of. Yeah, he goes to Beast Mutant, right? Yeah. And he also shows that he's getting back Winged Mutant, which is interesting. Oh, Winged Mutant wasn't his bottom, I see. That makes sense. Um, he finally gets rid of this gate so the Furted can actually push up. And as soon as you see Beast, as Davood's doing, the first impulse is just get rid of this thing as before it can get any value. And I think they're able to here. And even they aren't able to get the free damage on Demigod, but that doesn't really matter too much, to be honest. That's not Davood's game plan right now. I think here as Davood, you're feeling like it's probably even. I don't think this actually favors anyone currently, just because Davood has more board value, but Demigod is able to cycle so well. I'm curious about this Wing Mutant also decision here. Like the idea is that you want to get this Furtin into the action as quickly as possible, but that's something I'll ask Vexer, I think. Like, was this actually worth it? Why did you have to? Why does it matter that the winged is, why the cultist is here versus here? Because the problem is you use 2 magic and also you reduce the number of possibilities. I guess maybe he was afraid of some flying unit just swooping in and killing the cultists would be the only thing I could think of. That's a little bit unfortunate that they don't kill the Steward there also. But I'm not sure if that was the play with winged. I forgot. Oh yeah, Davood gets this. Yeah. What are the odds of that, by the way? Is that lucky or is that not lucky? Let me see. I'm curious about that actually. Let's see, because they've been hitting a lot of those with what's Zaruk? Let's see. So yeah, 4 dice. Borrow with worthy. It's basically just so 67%. So it's not exactly unlucky, but it is yeah. 67% is it's not lucky, but when you start getting like 3 of them, then it starts getting a little lucky. Cool. So Wing gets in there. Spew gets some damage off. They hit another one here, right? On the anointed. I mean, it's the right play. It's not like Davood's doing anything wrong, especially with this hand. You want to get as much value out of Saruk as possible, especially if it's still at 5. Okay, they whiffed that one. Makes sense. I think Zaruk's luck has been about average. They get the beast. This was the big whiff, I think. So they really need to hit. Zaruk needs to die here. So they get the 2. So this turn, it makes sense. But this was a little bit greedy for the right reasons for Vexer. And I think that's the play which might have changed the game, because 3+ is 57%. So it's kind of like a coin flip, basically. But they want to go for the 3 out of 3 to potentially... so basically they want to go... They wanted the greed where they could also kill the sage at the same time, was the idea there. So one, so they could get 2 magic this turn, but their greed didn't pay off. The coin flip didn't pay off, and so they ended up anyways having to use the anointed cultist attack. I guess that's another question I'll ask them. Do they think they needed to go for the greed because they felt like they were behind, or was it just, oh, I can get away with this, I'm fine? 4 ranged is... so let's see. So ideally, let's see. 4 range, 3 sword on a 5 health. So it should be 70. I mean, 72% is likely, but it's not completely likely. So they did whiff a little bit with the bow. Like you said, it's 2.66. But they knew that they knew that this was a 3. I mean, it could be that they thought that with or without the boost, they were still in a good position, so might as well go for the greed. I think it was either that, or they thought, or Vexer thought, I need to go for this greed because I feel like I'm behind. It must have been one of the two. Tukulu, are you talking about Zaruk? Or because Zaruk has worthy. That's the only reason it was higher. So Zaruk with worthy is let's see. Oh, not Smasher. That'd be way higher. So Zaruk with worthy has a valuation of 4. Yeah, so it should hit 4 almost every time. Well, not almost every time, but average of 4. All right, sorry, going back to this game. So that was a unfortunate whiff. And then that little bit of greed, then plus this diver not dying was just super unfortunate. So it's like a whiff plus greed was the deciding factor for this game. Though I'm not sure, it would have been, Davood might have still won, just because late game birds, especially if you have similar resources, is really strong. Just because Ava's mobility is nuts. You can do some crazy keep away with Ava. But yeah, this was super unfortunate. This whiff right here. So crazy. That was the... not necessarily game-losing whiff, but that definitely made it just so much harder. And the reason why is because here, like Davood does, rightfully so, this is so smart by Davood, assuming Vexer doesn't have another cultist, the best thing you can do here is actually kill the wing. That way, the next turn, Vexer can't transform the winged into something else. I guess you could say if Vexer wanted to be super careful, but you don't really plan, it's hard to plan around missing a 3 for 2, but there is an argument that if Vexer wanted to be super careful, they could have already changed this winged into a unit with more health. But I'm assuming they saw that all stewards were down, and it was very unlikely that, unless this diver lived, this winged would have died. So that's probably what they were thinking. But yeah. look, I don't think anyone plans for a 2 for 3 whiff. Um, so Davood does the completely right play, targets the winged. That way, basically, the only thing which can be mutated is this bestial. Um, unless Vexer has another cultist, which I think they would have played already if they had it. But at this point, the game is basically lost unless Vexer gets very lucky with rolls on the bestial. The reason that most likely Davood is trying to get rid of this diver is that they're afraid of um, Vexer getting the magic from killing the steward and the diver, in which case, and they also got very lucky with that roll. I don't think it would have mattered too much long term, but the idea is if they had their last card was Abomination, they would have been able to summon it with killing both the steward and the diver, so you only want them to be able to get one magic that turn. But yeah, I think the diver not dying, and then the 2 whiffs in a row basically um, really cost Vexer. The one of them was a little bit of a, and I'll be curious to ask them if they would have went for it again. The 3/4/3 on the I forgot what unit it was. Was it a Stewart? But yeah, great game by both players. Really solid. But yeah, I'll definitely be asking. I'm curious to hear both players how they approach this matchup. Alrighty, let's look at the dice stats for this game. Do, do, do. Yep. But great game by both players. Some really cool, like Takulu said, some really cool inactivity turns, and also just like making sure your units can only get attacked by from different positions. But to be honest, like I wouldn't say, like there were some bad rolls by, like this game. It seemed like Davood was able to hit a lot of things, but I wouldn't say, and I'm not sure what Vexer would think. I'll have to ask him, but it didn't seem, at least to me, that this game was completely decided by luck. I think there was a, I mean, I don't think people are used to this type of playstyle from Avians, just the hang back. All right, so dice stats. Vexer was lower. That said, that includes worthy dice, so you can't really. This range dice are a little bit skewed. They should be higher just because of how worthy dice roll. So I don't think this is the most. It is accurate, but it's also a little bit skewed just because of worthy dice. This is probably slightly higher than average, but I'm assuming it's about average with worthy dice. Versus Vexer. Yeah, Vexer was not hitting on his melee were really good, but he was not hitting on the range too well. But the 2 key hits, the 2 key whiffs were both melee, so to be honest, in terms of sword dice, can't really complain too much. A little bit below average, but overall is bad. The problem is more just the 2 critical whiffs. Range was a little bit low, but yeah. What was whiffing the most? Demigog. I feel like the range whiff were not too big of an issue though, because usually it was like a double attack. I guess if they hit a little bit higher, then the bestial would not have to hit a 3/3. But yeah, great game. All right, on to the last game. Such high level play by both of them. I hope they both were. I know it can be disappointing to lose a finals, or I'm assuming it is. I've never been in a finals, but I think also Vexer is one of those people who doesn't mind losing if it's in a as long as you feel like you played well. I think the worst way to lose is if you feel like either you didn't play well or you run out of time. Or sometimes if your dice just don't hit, that can also be a terrible way of losing. Let me make sure everything's good. All right. So sometimes Mount Vargath are surprisingly one of those factions which going first, like your starting setup is actually kind of trash. So, like for example, sometimes you end up with all events in your starting hand, all events and gates, and then you're like, what the hell do I do in this position? Like, I expose my slinger to get a shot on the sniper so I don't take inactivity damage? Or do I just take inactivity damage my first turn? Mount Vargath are a great faction, but sometimes their starting setup is just so bad. But luckily in this position, Davood has a fighter and some commons to play. They hit the 2 out of 2. But even if not, using the fire to get the Machinist so it can't get the double attack is always nice. So I know Vexer, in every single matchup, his goal is to, as cloaks, get Mega Machinist because it's so good. And he always puts this gate in this corner to have a Machinist behind it just because it's really hard to ever deal with that Machinist or Machinist. Sadly, they whiff on the Slinger. This is an interesting Slinger right here. It's kind of like a sacrificial Slinger. Oh, it's nice to get the 3 out of 3, but most likely the Slinger is dying next turn. Anyways, it's more to hold this gate spot. Maybe get a little bit of damage. That we got perfect rolls that turn. Nice double bandit. And I'm pretty sure this is like very nice textbook gameplay by Vexer. Has also the how do you call it to protect this the smoke bomb. Sorry, long day at work. Thank God it's Friday. Get the Torridon out. Sick. Torridon's so good. So good. I wonder if Vexer was expecting the Torridon. I'm assuming every single time you see someone discard heavily to get 8 magic, you're assuming Torridon. This is like the 1 8 cost champion, which is worth it if you can summon it. Let me make sure something's fine. Yep. Gets the Stronghold, which is nice, especially because Sundervid was in a very crazy position given Into the Shadow. These gates are so cool also. This gate, I think it purely was at the beginning to get a nice Stronghold in where the Sundervid cannot get poked at. You get Torridon up front, so potentially you can get like some chip damage on Torridon, but then what? You bring it from like 12 down to 10. Doesn't really for a unit. Kills his own unit from magic. Also prevents the surround. And forces Davood to take the inactivity damage this turn. Because you wouldn't be able to kill his sniper. All you'd be able to do is yeah, just very solid play by Vexer. Guess the Super Mac or Super Mac Machinist. Trying to go kill this gate, or at least threaten it, so that Davood always feels like they need a unit in front of the gate. So I think Vexer probably was not thinking that Quinn would be summoned here. Because if they did, they'd probably have put the bandit somewhere else. I think you rarely see Quinn, and I think that's one thing because people were talking a lot about. I know in chat today or in Discord there was a topic about, you know, Davood not using quote unquote meta factions. Um, and one advantage to non-meta factions, even though based off who's talking about it, they may or may not believe that these factions are as strong as the meta ones. For example, Mount Vargath compared to unnerfed cloaks. Um, a lot of times, especially these players who are really good and who play a lot in these like tournament finals, I don't think Vexer Prize is a problem because he plays a lot of solo queue or public queue. But I know players who only play in tournaments might not be used to playing as high level, Avians or Fallen Kingdoms or Mountain Vargath as they do in this tournament. And especially players who play very unusually. I know I've played against Davood a few times, and I know he loves playing unusual champions. Um, but I'm assuming Vexer, based off the Spanish position, did not expect Quinn to be summoned this turn. Because this is way too much value for, yeah. For Quinn. Because look, when you see 5 magic, you're assuming Varn. You're not expecting Quinn, especially in this matchup. You can see that this turn, Vexer plays around it by moving the Machinist away from this gate, just in case Quinn scores an incredible 4 out of 4 specials and one-shots the Machinist behind the gate. It's too risky with this much value on the Machinist. But yeah, this is a little bit of a scary position. Blocks at 8 in the open field versus Mountain Vargath. If you have some type of collar, ramming aid, blocks could basically go down to 0 or probably 2 this turn. But Davood plays it very safely, which is a great play because they know they have both rammings in their last few cards. You want blocks to play up. And then Vexer plays some very nice, econ dagger, basically using dagger, then getting them out of the way. Getting a slinger. The more slingers you can get away from Mount Vargath, usually the better. I think slingers are one of the more high priority targets when you're playing against Vargath. But yeah, Davood plays this so nicely and safely. Just very little moves. Quinn moves up a space to be in a better position so that they can move more forward. Torridon behind the Brute. Right now you're valuing a lot more Torridon at 9 health than you do a Brute at 5. Or Torridon's health is way more important right now than a Brute's, is the better way of saying that. So this is a mistake, I think, by Davood. The only one which I really have seen so far. There's no reason this collar is here, to be honest. I don't really see why. Like, why not just put the collar up here or here, and it's in a much better position? Because my main issue with the collar in this position is that it's basically doing nothing. You might not want to block the escape spot, but at least if you move the collar somewhere else. Like, my point being is that it's going to be very hard to get all 3 of these units into the battle in case this game goes like super late. Might as well, might as well. Might as well just call it over here. Maybe they're thinking that, maybe I want the spot in case Vox moves to the side. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's an argument. But I don't know. I'll ask them if they think it's a mistake. But I just think the collar right here just feels completely out of the game. That's my only criticism, I guess. I'm assuming Vexer is also thinking at this point that there's no way Davood still has both rammings, which, to be honest, they might not have had if they had them earlier. That's a sad whiff. This Torridon should have been dead this turn if Vlox was rolling a little better, but 2 out of 7. That's very unfortunate. And then the 3 out of 5. That's very, yeah, not the best luck. But at least they're able to get the 2 on the Slinger. But this must have been like a 95% whiff here, like a 5% chance Torridon lives there with that many dice. That's what, 14 dice on Torridon. So this is smart by Davood. Getting Vlox low, especially because their last cards are ramming. Just reducing the amount of options Vlox has, but then Vexer plays really nicely around this. Gets the 3. Gets the double attack. Kills, and so I'm curious whether Vexer saw that he could die this turn, or whether he, was this a calculated risk, or was this just he forgot, or he didn't think that most likely he thought that Davood had thrown away this last caller. But it'll definitely be a question I ask him. Is whether he saw this play of collar ramming, or whether he thought that it's in Vexer's defense, I think it's very unlikely against a Mount Vargath player that ramming they use both rammings in their last 6 cards. Their last 6 cards contains 2 rammings. Usually you discard a ramming at some point. Yeah. Then the smoke bomb. So probably, let's think. If Davood didn't win this turn, Vexer's probably a little bit favored with Dagger out at full health, Simpson at full health, Gunner still 8 cards. So I'm assuming it must have been Vexer probably did not see the collar ramming, because it's a little bit why not play around it, I guess the point. Because what did they copy at the start of this turn? Let me go through this turn to see if it was actually a mistake or whether it was not. So the goal this turn is to definitely kill Torridon. So they copy the Machinist. They get the Gunner. Go back, shoot Torridon. This makes complete sense. They put Simpson over there. They put the Gunner here. They already used their other movement on the attack. Okay, so this is where it currently is. How many slingers? Player 2 summon slinger. Oh, what's Slinger's full name? Shale Slinger. I see. So there was potentially 1 slinger left. So maybe the danger of Vlox being here is that you get slingered plus ramminged here. So you don't want Vlox to be here. Let's see. How could you have played this turn? Is there actually a safe place? I guess is a better question. You definitely need a copy Machinist here to try to get rid of these 2 units. If either of these 2 units, especially with Ram, is up, you're very dead. So I don't think copying the Machinist was any problem. Okay, that's fine. Bursting over here. Simpson over there. I don't see anything really wrong here. I guess it's a little bit sad you can't move one more unit. Could you have... No. Okay, shoots with blocks. Okay. I guess could you have just made like a... No, because even if you had that... How does blocks live here? It feels like there must be a way. Oh, you know what is Simpson should go back to. That's how you do it. Or Dagger, I guess. That would have been the play, yeah. Yeah, that was the play. Well, what would you be playing around there then? Let's see. So in that position... Oh, because you even have the smoke bomb. Because in that position, Vlox would have been here, Gunner would have been here, and Dagger would have been here. So Vlox should be safe that turn. I honestly think it's because Vexer probably just didn't see the collar ramming. I'll have to ask though. But I think most likely he just didn't see the collar ramming because there is a way to keep Vlox alive here. Yeah. Fighter collar ramming. Very fun play. And so what was the backup in case this missed? You get the collar. Yeah, just protect this gate spot's the idea. And also protect Sunderved's behind in case it whiffs that Dagger can't get the shot in. But great game by both players. Great game by both players. Yeah, I have to ask, because if the game ended like this, and let's say Vlox at, let's see, if Vlox was at, why is it doing this? Let's end at the movement phase, just so we can see. But yeah, just very solid by Davood. Yeah, so here, Vlox would have been at like 1 health, let's say. Would still be a little bit hard, I guess, but I guess you start just chipping away at Sunderved. Try to get rid of the Slinger. The Slinger is probably the most dangerous thing they have right now. And go from there. But yeah, very close game. Crazy. I guess they still had Quinn for later in the game. And but Dagger at 6, Simpson at 6 might have been a little bit tough. All right, that was a great finals. The finals have, like, the last few finals have been so good. Has there ever been a bad finals? I don't think so. I think most games are just really good. I mean, it's the two best, or not necessarily the two best players, but the two players who top their groups in two very hard groups. I'm super excited for a Turtle Surprise for newer players who never experienced it. I highly recommend. I think in March, Tortugatron is going to announce Turtle Surprise. It's a super cool format. I highly recommend. Anyone can join. You play a semi round robin. You almost play every single faction. So cool, very cool. I honestly think Turtle Surprise should be like the official version of tournaments. I think that'd be so cool, and it would also, because of the format of Turtle Surprise, it gets rid of faction imbalance, where you can only play one faction once the entire tournament. So, look, if you play Shadow Elves, you can never play it again. And if you make it to the finals and you play all the strong decks, you might be left with Phoenix Elves, Cave Goblins, and and Fae. Hey, Grata. I started playing right as Shadow Elves and Wayfarers came out shoots. I think you started a little bit after me, or like a year after me, maybe. But yeah, I started right when Shadow Elves and Wayfarers, because I remember queuing, and I was like, why do I keep queuing into Shadow Elves? Like, why is everyone playing Shadow Elves? Uh, that was a great. I mean, I think Shadow Elves and Wayfarers was one of the best releases. Let me rate release. Hey, Hagrada, how are you doing? Let's see. I mean, have there been any bad releases? I mean, I guess Faye could be buffed a little bit. No, I mean, there's no decks that ever move. Let me know if this is like I was talking to actually Eden about this yesterday. Let me know if you guys agree with that or not. But I kind of wish Platt had games maybe next year, or maybe like later this year. Is like we're not releasing any decks for the next couple of months. For like we're only releasing one deck this year, or maybe we're only releasing two decks this year, like one release cycle, and we're purely focusing on adding various balancing and also adding various cosmetics. Like Eden was saying, not even balancing, but it'd be very cool, and I'm sure they would make a lot of money from it. Just making like different art for different gates. Like you could have like a bird gate for Sky Spear Avians. Um, you could have like a goblin hole instead of the gate here. Just like making like various cosmetics. You could have like sneaks with purple skin and a hat or something like that. Like uh, I guess I don't, and maybe it's because of their business model where they feel like that's the only way they can be profitable in terms of paying their employees, that they need to release a certain amount of decks per year. But I would love them if they're able to maybe get a little surplus of money to experiment, to just experiment how much money they can make off of you know small community adjustments. Improving this site's already amazing for a board game, and I'm very thankful that we have this. But I feel like small things could really just boost player retention and also make people who are competitive or not, or who are excited about new decks or not, excited. Um, you started in the middle of Crimson Order and Mountain Vargath. Yeah, that was a cool cycle. Yeah, shoots. It's crazy how good you are for how recently you started. Agrada. Yeah, true. The best release was the Master Set. The Master Set's pretty nuts. Yeah, releasing the next. How many decks do they promise? Like 60 decks or something like that. They'll release like 30 decks in the next couple months. Um, no, I think there's definitely. I think the only time which I felt there was a little bit of a lull. I think at least for me personally with the decks, I think that was right after Swamp Orcs High Elves where I really wanted more decks. But to be honest, I feel like there's so many combinations of decks currently, that I love just sitting on our current set and maybe the two factions which are about to be released, and them just really spending some time focusing on and spending resources on various community aspects. Because I think for some people it's very exciting to always get two new decks every so often. But uh, look, I think even physical cards they could release, like alternate art versions of various decks, or remastered sets, or like remastered base decks, a deck a week. That'd be funny. That'd be way too much to keep up. You join a tournament and you have no idea about the deck your opponent is playing. But that could be fun though. I really enjoy I used to do that with Ben, not looking at any of the new factions and just playing them against each other. That was great. Though Ben cheated last time and he knew the factions before me because he was a play tester. But yeah, I think I'm most likely done for tonight. Unless there's any replays people want to go over, um, or interesting replays people want to watch. I'll try to get the spreadsheet out for uh, people to submit replays in the Discord. I think that'll be fun to do. Just go through games every week of submissions people of games people found funny or they're proud of or had a cool finish. As well as I'll put up a sheet tomorrow for people to put in questions they have for Vexer or Davood about the finals or just about anything. Um, and also I have to leave because of course Hagrada just joined, so I need to make sure I end the stream as quickly as possible. No, I'm kidding. Hagrada, you're my only mod. You need to start banning. Start banning. Um, yeah. Uh, maybe maybe Jack's streams later today. That could be fun. Jack's streams have been a lot of fun. Does anyone have a replay of the turn one kill by Tundra Orcs? I remember being. I've never seen a turn one Tundra Orc kill. That sounds fun though. Just some crazy RNG with a brutal force. Oh, what's up, me? Me, are you Shampoo? I remember seeing that game. I don't know of any. I know some cave goblin one turn kills, and I know actually last time Vexer and Shampoo, or sorry, not Vexer, Vexer and Davood played each other in the Turtle Surprise. I think the replay's broken sadly, but they had a game where Vexer was playing Fallen Kingdoms in one turn three, I think, due to some like crazy blood summon turn. It was literally like, or no, maybe it was turn two kill. It was either turn three or turn four kill where uh, Vexer just had the nuts, like double blood summon, just like, and Davood just died. I don't have any replays though. I know Bean has some. The problem is all these replays are broken now, but there are some older replays with Mount Vargath. I've seen that. Yeah, there's definitely some first Fallen Kingdom's first turn kill. Can you self ban? That's hilarious if you can. No idea. But yeah, I'll maybe I come up with a custom deck, some random brainstorming custom deck. What I would even play? What sounds like a fun Demigog? The problem is Harvest can only get back mutants, right? Maybe there's some crazy like wait. How do cultists work? What's the wording on cultists? Let's see. Oh wait, they're not even the same symbol. Actually, no, they are. Devout cultist. Ooh, maybe you can do. Maybe I'll do some like super annoying devout cultist mutant. just, just infinite recursion with a bunch of devout cultists. Like, let's see. We can make maybe. Let's see if we can make some super annoying deck. Let's see this. We choose Demigog. Demigog. I feel like there's something here. Demigog and. Wait, can you not get devout cultists? God damn it. I'm not sure how this works. Why is Demigod? I guess it'll be kind of broken. Why? Why can't I? Oh, I see. I have to get rid of these. Okay, let's see. Does this work now? I'm a noob. Wait, why can't I? Okay, there we go. I can. Sorry, guys. I'm a noob to. Oh wait, are devout cultists specific to? God damn it! No, my dearest. Cloaks. Could cloaks get a turn one kill? I'm not sure because it's just the amount of magic which you have. I don't think it would be possible. Also, the starting position. I don't think cloaks can get a turn one kill with two magic. Yeah, I don't think it's possible. Um, Wayfarer's turn one kill. Let's see. I wish there was like a starting setup viewer. I guess we do have it on SW Zone. Let's see. Starting setups. There it is. Let's see. This probably is not possible. Not possible. Chosen Groves is broken. I'm assuming it's not possible in Chosen Groves though. Yeah, I don't think it would be possible for. Or it seems really hard. Probably you could against Grox just because for some reason Hecate is in this position, which I think needs to be changed. Baseline Maldaria kill. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Go all the way to Shield of Faithful Daymar for beefy cultist. Just so full. Oh, that actually sounds so funny. Just some meme deck. That's so sad that I mean it kind of makes sense. I feel like if devout cultists were available for anyone, it might be a little bit broken. Some crazy devout cultist deck. Oop. Let's see. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this potential deck. So what cultist is the most useless? Would you keep Demigod? Or maybe I just bring like a base deck into. That'd be hilarious. Just bringing a base deck into the custom game. Just bring like Shadow Elves or something. Bring Fungal Dwarves. Oh, you can get Fighters. Interesting. I feel like Fighters are. What events can you get? You can get Tome, which is pretty strong. Yeah, you can go Hopeful. Yeah, so let's see. If we go the opposite way, like you were talking about. Oops, sorry, I keep misclicking. Let's see if we can get some really fun deck here. Baseline Maldaria kill. Yeah, Maldaria is just because the health is probably super easy to, or one of the easier ones. But I guess the one problem about turn one Maldaria kill is that you have both their units are covering the gate, either side of the gate, so it's a little hard to get to her. Okay, let's see. I keep getting distracted. What is this? I've never seen this one before. This unit cannot be targeted by an attack more than once per turn. The strength is increased by the base strength of its target. Oh, interesting. What a interesting champion. I'm not sure if it's good. I feel like deck building should have like in Magic like a side deck, and maybe you can have this like in your side deck or something. Might be useful. Yeah, just what's like the most annoying deck I can make here? Just a bunch of mages also. Side deck a bunch of mages. Oh, you can do priests? Oh my god. I'm gonna have the most annoying deck ever. Just do this. Can you use Tentacle on a cultist? Like, does Devout Cultist count for Tentacle? That'd be actually sick. The problem is you'd never be able to get them back, but maybe that's fine. So Devout, just a bunch of Ember Mages maybe. The annoying tier list. But I guess the problem is that Ember Mages don't get a... Wait, you can go... Interesting. So you can't actually go the other cultist. Why can I only get Malignant here? I don't know how deck building works, to be honest. Seems kind of random. You can do some some flares. Do a flare. That's actually hilarious. Call forth sounds amazing. All right, we put in a flare, 2 flares. Put some guarding. Oh my god, you can make this so annoying. Is this the play? Do something like this? It's the timeout deck. You make your opponent rage and timeout. Oh, Malignus to the left. Hmm. I see. Filth is lacking the shield symbol. Yeah, I don't know how it works for deck building. I guess it matters. Yeah, so does each unit have? Oh, I see what you're saying. You're right. These all have shields on them. So what dictates that? The summoner? Does the summoner have a shield on it also? Oh, I see. It has a shield on. I didn't realize commons have their own symbols on them. Interesting. Okay, we definitely get rid of you. What champions would you use in the most annoying deck ever? Definitely Aldrich. That sounds amazing. This one works on all cultists, right? Yeah, you're definitely using Cantor. Definitely in Cantor. And then maybe Cassia would be your last one. The Vanessa's pretty annoying, but we don't have we're not going to be using a transfer, so we don't need transfer. So Cassia definitely. Oh, Colleen is also a great. Maybe I do Colleen. No, Colleen would cost too much. Cantor sounds better. But if I wanted to make it really the most annoying, it would be Colleen. So you have to. Oh, the starting one I see. Peace, Devout. Ember Mage is probably not worth it, to be honest. Probably more cultists the better. Probably Malignant. Yeah, I agree. Maybe just Colleen just for Citadel. For the interesting. Oh, is Colleen just for Citadel? Is that what you're saying? Oh, each friendly Citadel. You're right. You're right. You're completely right. Sorry, I misunderstood you. So then definitely Encanter. And then, should we put a random Titan? No. I think these by far make the most sense. Alright, Malignant Cultist makes sense. I guess you go with Doom, because they're the other best. How many cards do I have left? 16 out of 16. Alright, we have it. It's the most annoying deck ever. I guess if you really wanted to optimize it, you could like put a spew or something. Like you can probably go one-offs. Like maybe make a Stag Rider. But this would be a very annoying deck to deal with. Unless you play Sand Goblins. And then if you just play Sand Goblins, if you have a motor, a bunch of +1 damage, or then you just win automatically. Because all my health have no life. Oh, sorry, all my units have no life. There's also an argument for Flare being a bad card. Like, Flare definitely needs to be 0 cost to be good. But you're not using any magic in general in this deck, so doesn't matter. All your magic you're using is on champions. This might be it, guys. This might be the deck I run with. Yeah, I agree. If you could put the 4 health cultists, sadly, I guess they don't have the shield, like you said. It's either you need a shield, a moon, or double axes. Yeah, I feel like if you get the 4 health, this would actually be a really good deck. Because like the only thing you're spending magic on is 4 magic on peace cultists. And then I guess Flare makes sense because you're not going to be using the magic on anything else. I guess there's an argument to not using guarding. Like most of these units die in one attack anyways, but maybe with Peace Aura, that's not the case. Yeah. Or maybe you just have a bunch of undead carriers. The problem is yeah, it's probably not the best to be honest. And it doesn't fit the theme. We need a bunch of cultists. And Cassia. But yeah. I'll save this as Best deck. All right. One more deck. We'll make one more deck. Create a new deck. What's a cool archetype we can think of, which no one has thought of? Can Storm Goblins do anything cool? I feel like Storm Goblins are just so useless with this format. All right, you definitely get rid of Kite Raiders. Kite Raiders are so dog shit. Maybe you do Biters instead? No, Biters are also trash in this matchup. You just go like full all in. Vault Swappers, Biters. Divers. The problem is divers can't fly. Now I can build my counter deck. My cultist counter. You just need like play sand goblins, play like a bunch of motors, a bunch of biters, motors, or storm goblins will just completely counter my deck. Just play base storm goblins would just wreck my deck. my deck would just lose to like in a couple turns to base sand goblins. Full magic denial storm goblins. That sounds hilarious. Let's see if we can do that. So biters, you have to get rid of striders. Do you keep witches? You probably use rogues. Maybe. Too bad you can't do mind witches. Let's see. How can we make a full magic denial? All right. Discharge you get rid of. Okay, let's see what we can do. Divers, probably. Biters, divers. Clingers might be fun, but they're probably bad. Though I kind of like clingers more than I like rogues in this deck, so maybe we do clingers. Yeah, not enough one health units. Yeah, Bean, you want to see my first deck, and then you can help me with this current deck. This is my my first deck. The idea behind this is that we have all cultists and things to keep the cultists alive. So just Peace Aura, Hopeful, Flare. We don't care that Flare is one magic because we're not using magic on anything anyways. You know, all these cultists are free. And then we have Guarding, Hopeful, Aldrich. The problem about Aldrich, actually we need to get rid of Aldrich because this guy's getting no boosts. Like where's all Aldrich getting any boosts from? Alright, this deck is trash. Let's get rid of Aldrich. Hopefully Shoots is not here so you can't see my new tech. Alright, what do you get rid of? Aldrich. Instead of Aldrich, what are you playing? I guess you go back to Vanessa, maybe? Is this actually good here? No, because you have no other Citadel units. Abomination's trash. Thune is trash. I guess you maybe maybe Lucian as like a super backer, or maybe Fire Drake. Fire Drake might be unironically good here just because you have nothing else to spend magic on. Or Gul'das, just if it has tournament buffs. Titus, that's an amazing idea. Yeah, Titus or Fire Drake. Yeah, exactly. Either Titus or Fire Drake. I know that Ben loved this. What does Queso even do? After this unit moves, roll 2 dice, add damage to each unit. Alright, that seems like trash. Any unit... Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe it's not bad. Interesting. No, I'm not playing this trash champion. Queso. Casamara. Oh, true. Casamara would be amazing. You're right. Casamara would be the evil option. I love that. Oh, Casamara is by far the best pick. Why didn't I think about that? I guess you could, yeah, no, definitely Casamara. Now this is a perfect deck. Thank you, Bean. The perfect iteration of this deck. Maciel's trash because everything anyways has 2 magic. Horrify, no. There's an argument for changing Call Forth for guarding. I'm not sure how good guarding is actually in this deck. Blood Summon trash. You can do something also like maybe 1 Deathrite I wouldn't do 2 death rates. Bean, you know you're gonna face me first round with this amazing deck. All right, I'm happy we've made the deck even better with adding Casamara. Maybe I switch it up with a Fire Drake if it's no. Encanter needs. I mean, Cassia. There's an argument. No, I think Cassia needs to be there also. Okay, back to my try to magic denial deck, which we were trying to make. So create new deck. Definitely Storm Goblins. Get rid of these 2. Get rid of Kite. I mean, if you're in a self-destructed deck, maybe Kite Rider is it. Definitely Biters. Vault Swappers. Kite Riders are so bad. So bad. Why does Kite Rider hurt itself? Why? Who decided that? Who thought it would be broken if Kite Riders couldn't hurt themselves? Yeah, that's a good point. Me. That's a good point. Okay, so you definitely need Motor. Motor's definitely needed in this deck. Overcharge definitely needed. Moto boots. I'm curious. How does this event work? After you destroyed by the okay, so it wouldn't cause it'd be hilarious if you could just get your Moto boots back. Sky Assault's only for flight. Tragic. Oh, you can do some sneak, maybe a sneak, and then a thruster. God, this deck is so bad. Distinct commons? Oh, maybe Seek the Horizon's really good. Could do or maybe a pylon. Oh my god. Okay, thruster seems bad. Something like this, just one of each event. But maybe. Do you need double overcharge? Yeah, probably. Maybe sneak is bad. You already have so much mobility, you probably don't even need sneak. Double pylon, that's how you win. This might actually, I think there might be something here, to be honest. I'm not sure how you'd win, but I mean, the key would be just drawing a pylon and just surrounding and just hoping your opponent doesn't surround his own summoner. He doesn't look at your deck. What would you do for champions here? Definitely. I think this might be good. Skits is always good. Or Skiz. Taz, trash. Sparks, trash. Was it after this unit attacks? Gain 1 magic. You don't really need magic here. Just a secret dagger. No, a dagger would be trash. Bolo. Maybe you do like a Guilford just to go something like this. No, this deck is complete trash. This is one of those decks you bring and just hope for 1 win. And be very happy with that win. Brag to all your friends about that 1 win. Maybe some clingers. Would you use... Is Climber better than Kite Rider? No, Kite Rider's just better. Yeah, Kite Rider's just better. I guess the only thing is Kite Rider costs 1, but you don't have magic problems in this deck regardless. Like, everything costs 0. So you don't really care about the 1 magic. Yeah. I think the other one's way more competitive than this one. Kamikaze deck. All right, we have 2 decks which we can bring, both perfectly optimized. All right, maybe 1 more and then I end the stream. Hmm. What's another archetype no one's really using? I feel like Phoenix Elves maybe, but I feel like why would you use Phoenix Elves? Maybe Forge might be cool. What can Forge do? Oh, Glacial Shift Forge? That'd be cool. Sadly, it's not there. That is tragic, though. Is there anything here which makes me super excited to play Forged? I mean, you could do definitely like a hand cannon, Madcog, hand cannon, modular Madcog. You could do like you could probably do something fun. You could do like a coolant hand cannon turret, modular Madcog, moto booted. With motor. Okay, I like this. You just use one of every single upgrade. Hellforge Ag would just kill it. No, that wouldn't work. Literally just. Oh wait. When damage we so can you actually do coolant plus axe at the start of your turn? So yeah, coolant would work on axe and chains. So you could technically like make a super unit with coolant, axe, and chains. Um, so in that case, you would get rid of this. Maybe add an axe. Pimp my cog. No building forged. Yeah, pimp my cog. I like that. Pimp my cog. Yeah, just some super cog. Some axe. Yeah, you have some axe, hand cannon. Oh, you can even do Hellforge weapon. Why am I even doing this? Get away from your turret. You put a Hellforge weapon on this thing. With moto boots. My god, this cog would be... How much? So this would be... Yeah, no, literally, coolant plus axe and Hellforge. That's a sick combo. You have a mag cog. You have a mag cog with 7 strength. Just shooting things. Oh, you can't put axe on it? Tragic. Oh, I see. Under, yeah, it has to be sword. You're right. All right, maybe we don't do it on a mag cog then. We can do it on a uh, an ember cog maybe. That'd be funny. Just super ember cog. You could also just put a turret. It's still scary enough seeing a 5 damage mag cog with turret just going everywhere. That's hilarious. I wish I could backs. Oh, you know what you could do? Oh, this is actually so you don't use the ember cog. So we would get rid of these. We would add these. And then you just go like a bunch of ice smiths, ember cogs. What else did you put in this thing? Uh, just like a super. You know, this is now I understand why. This is because we saw that random screenshot in Discord of Tortugatron hitting a tree for like 30 damage with a mag cog, and it must have been something like this. This is literally must be the setup. You definitely have scavengers in this deck. Plus workshops was axe. Yeah, that sounds sounds crazy. Yeah, because you keep the workshops. Let's see. So you definitely Icinus, definitely scavengers. I feel like are fine. I think you go ice golems last. I think that makes no sense. Does it though? You already have the inventor, so you don't really need ice golems. Maybe you do guards. The problem is you don't have any range dice really. Literally. Oh, you know what you can put some gunners in actually. Just push the mag cog so it doesn't need to move. Maybe like 2 or something. Alright, you have no range dice right now. Do you need range dice? Who needs those wimpy range dice anyways? Alright, what would you go for champions here? It could go like, I mean, Hellmaw seems fine. Clink. It's probably good. Oh, Ulag. This is way too much magic, though. Like, compared to our other decks, which cost no magic, this is probably a little bit too... The curve is probably a little bit off. I can also use Forge, because this is any upgrade, right? Oh, it's a Hellforge event, never mind. So Forge is not that good. Yarmoond, I guess you could argue. Anyways, I'll think of something. It seems like a lot of fun. I'll come up with some troll deck. My goal is just to get one win with a troll deck in the tournament. What are we missing in this deck so far? We need more commons. Maybe two, maybe like 2 Magcogs or something. Something like that. Yarmoon's probably trash, to be honest. I mean, sorry, you probably don't want to go Ulag. You probably go Yarmoon. I don't know. I'm not sure which one's better. All right. I like your name. We should do build a Ember Cog. All right, nice. Yeah, by far our best deck was our first one. We've just been going downhill since there. Like, this actually looks usable, versus the rest look terrible. With this one, I feel like I'm gonna time out myself. I'll just get too bored, or maybe it's just a lot of fun annoying people. It's too bad, like you said, me, that you can only use Malignant Cultist here. You can't use the 4 health Cultist. That would just make this deck like probably viable. Julian Spree. I hope to see you in this tournament also. That'll be funny. We can all just come up with troll decks. All right, how does this last thing? So if I sign up, how does this work? Oh, I see. I choose one of my decks. Okay, very cool. $90. Oh my god. And the badge. All right. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys, for joining. I'll be on in actually exactly 12 hours tomorrow to cast Shoots versus Tortugatron with Beast and allies. Should be a lot of fun. I think that's Div 1. And anyways, they're 2 great players, so who cares if it's Div 1 or not. So Tugatron as the Avians and Shoots as the Big Tree. Sounds like a very fun matchup. And I'm excited to see it. Yeah, sleep well, guys. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.